let's talk about some conversions. So, we're talking about conversions. We're talking about going from one unit of measurement to another. So what that means is if I give you the length of something in feet, how you would go from feet to yards. Or if I give you something in months and I say something takes 36 months, changing that to years. So a unit of measurement is just how we measure something. So if we measure it inches, centimeters, months, years, days, those are units of measurement, how we measure something. So when we convert, we're just going from one to another. So what's really important to know is how units compare to one another. So we're going to review some common ones. I would get out a piece of paper that you can keep to write these down on so that you can look back at them when you're doing your worksheet. I'm going to write them on the whiteboard, but you'll want to look back at them. So please write them down so that you have them. I couldn't find a good one on the internet with everything, so we're just going to have you write them down. If I go too fast, of course, pause me. So first off, 1 kilometer, or kilometer, 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. Go ahead and write that down. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 meter, 100 centimeters. Okay. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Notice kilo then probably has something to do with 1,000. That's what kilo means. So if you have 1 kilometer, kilometer, 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters, 1 kilogram, 1,000 grams. And 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. Notice it's like a cursive L that they want, and that looks like an E, so I'll make my cursive L look better. Cursive L is liter. Okay, some more. I need a good eraser today, don't I? I'll just use this over here. Okay. Here's a few more. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Remember to pause me and write these down. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. And, ran out of room. I'll write it at the bottom. 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. Okay. Pause me, write any of these down that you don't have down. Okay, and then some measurements of time. We have 1 year is equal to 12 months. One week is equal to 7 days. These are easier because they're a lot more familiar. 1 day is equal to 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Pause me, write any of that down. Okay. All right. So we're going to be discussing how to move from one measurement to another. So again, this is called conversion. So here we're going to start with the problem. We have 1 foot and we want to put it into inches. Okay. You may be able to do that already in your head. You may know how many inches are in 1 foot. In fact, you do know how many inches are in 1 foot. What it wants us to do after we figure that out is figure out how many inches are in 4 feet. Okay, so when we're going from a larger unit, so feet, 1 foot is going to be a lot more than 1 inch, right? So we're going from a larger unit, feet, to a smaller one. We're cutting up our big unit into smaller units. So we're going to figure out how many smaller units we have in one large unit. Okay? Does that make sense? 1 foot is equal to how many inches? 12, right? 12 inches. And now we want to know how many are in 4 feet. Okay? We could really make a diagram for this, right? We could draw a diagram and divide it up into 4 for the 4 feet. And how many inches are in 1 foot? 12, right? So what can you tell that you're going to do to figure out how many are in 4 feet? Well, you're going to have to multiply, right? You're going to have to multiply 12 by 4 to figure out the total of how many inches are in 4 feet. Pretty simple, right? So when we're going from a larger unit to a smaller one, we're usually going to have to, we're going to have to multiply. So here again, this represents our 4 feet that we want to figure out. We know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So 12 times 4 will give us our answer, which is 48 inches. We multiplied 4 times 12. All right, so let's look at a few more. My black marker is kind of on the fritz, I feel like, so I'm going to try to write a little bit with my red marker. If it looks like it's not showing up, I'll switch back. Okay, this time, what does it want? It wants us to figure out how many centimeters are in 9 meters. Okay. So first, let's figure out, and we could draw a diagram. Sometimes it may be it wants you to find out too much where you can't use a diagram, but let's do it for now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, I made 10. Bad diagram divider. Okay. So it wants to know how many centimeters are in 9 meters. So I'm going to split up my diagram into 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. So first, we need to figure out, so each of these represents not a meter. So 1 meter, 2, 3, 4 meters, 5 meters, 6 meters, so on. So we need to figure out how many centimeters are in 1 meter. And you should have written this down, but it is 100. Okay. 100. So each of these little units, right, show that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to multiply 100 by 9. So when you're multiplying by a factor of 10, or a multiple of 10, you can really just add the number of zeros to the back of the number, right? But so we know that the answer is going to be 900 centimeters. If you don't know how to multiply by like 10 or 100 or whatever, just in your brain, just think of it as hanging off the zeros, both zeros to the side. And then that just looks like one huge 9. That's 9 times 100. So you can just immediately bring your zeros down, and then 9 times 1 is 9. Really, you're just, however many zeros are in the number you're multiplying. So if you're multiplying by 10, you would add 1 zero to the right of it. If you're multiplying by 100, 2 zeros, 1,000, 3 zeros. It's pretty simple. So our answer is 900. We had to multiply, right? But not so bad. Okay, let's think about, or here, I'll give us a problem and you can work it on your end, and then I'll do it over here. This time we have we want to know how many hours are in 8 days. So let me show you the problem. First of all, you're going to have to figure out how many hours are in 1 day, which I bet you already know. Then we want to know how many hours are in 8 days. Okay? I'll just go ahead and tell you, even though I'm sure you know, there are 24 hours in 1 day. Now I want you to solve how many hours are in 8 days. I'll solve it over here, you solve it over there, and then we'll compare our answers. You can pause me if you need more time. Alright, I'm going to flip it, so pause me if you need to. 192 hours. There are 24 hours in 1 day, multiplied by 8 days, gave me 192. Okay, I'm running out of time, but I hope you're getting the hang of this. We should probably work on a conversion where you're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So let me see if you're going to be doing any of those actually before I say that. Okay, I'm going to have to make another video because there's a lot more to cover. But that's the first part.